Well, hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here, if anyone is here. I just wanted to pop up and have a little chat with you. It's totally unannounced. But today I was having a conversation with someone that is, a follower of this channel, and she's an aspiring TC. And we were having a conversation about her launching her business, her TC business. And one of the questions that she asked me, which I think that is, pretty a pretty good question, is TC a good idea? Is that a good business model? Is it something that it works, right? And the thing that I was telling her, and obviously I totally believe in that, is that yes, to me, it's a great business model, is how I make my living, is what I do, you know, as a profession. And I was also mentioning that even though I think that TC worked, even though I believe that is a way to make a living. You can be super successful at it. It could be very profitable and it can be super rewarding. At the same time, I need to recognize that not everyone succeeds as a TC. And that's okay because not everyone has to be a TC, not everyone has to be a doctor, not everyone has to be in construction, whatever, right? So I believe that personality has a lot to do with how successful you can be. Not just personality, but you know, the effort that you put as well. And we were talking that, in some cases, some people that start a business, in the case of the independent transaction coordinators, we all know we are business owners. Some of them actually have no way to find a client or to survive in this industry. Some others are doing okay, and some others are killing it. So we were just, having a conversation, as I said. And the other topic that, I thought that it was super, super interesting, and I actually wanted to talk to you about that is quitting your job for doing something like TC or freelancing or, establishing your own business, whatever activity you choose to do. And even though I think it's great, I run my own business, so I think that is amazing. But with a caveat, some people um, start the idea in their heads and they get super excited and they're like, oh yeah, I want to launch my business. And you know there might be many different reasons for them to want to do that. Maybe they are not happy in their current job, so they are thinking about the freedom that is going to bring them, right, to be their own boss, to actually you know manage their own business, their own schedule, their own clients. And the reality is that, yes, absolutely, being a TC, an independent TC, is all that. You don't have a boss, you are your own boss. You kind of have some type of flexibility. But at the same time, I think that you need to be very smart about the way you do that. And I wanted to talk specifically about quitting your job, okay, for being a TC. So I think that before you make the big decision of quitting your job, you have to make a plan so you can transition from being an employee to running your own business. And that might look a little bit different from person to person, from situation to situations, right? Not everyone is exactly the same. And one of the things that are more important in this whole plan, it will be your finances. And why I think that is one of the most important things is because, when you are a business owner, you will be responsible for bringing, clients to your business. And you will be responsible as well for paying for your own whatever you need for your tools, right? And you will be responsible for not just doing the tasks for your clients, but at the end of the day, you're going to be responsible for absolutely everything else because it's going to be your business. So you are the only responsible person in your business. You are in charge of everything, which is amazing. But at the same time, it can be a little bit, scary, right? So if you ask me, a great way to kind of, how can I say that? Have a little bit of peace of mind will be to have your finances in order. And when I say that, I mean have some savings because again, you need to kind of understand that the day that you launch your business, the day that you start, is not going to be the day that you start getting money, at least not in this type of business. If you're going to do TC, and let's say that you are wonderful at what you're doing, and maybe you make a plan and you already have lined up your clients just waiting for you to open the doors of your business to bring you contracts. So let's say that you open the doors today and you have contracts already to start coordinating. That would be amazing. It's not always the case, but hopefully, again, you work before you open your doors and now you have people waiting for you. If that is the case and you get a contract today, if we talk about average, you will probably spend 30 days just to, put a very average, number of days in order to close that transaction. So in the best cases, you're going to spend 30 days until you get your first check. So for some people can be, if you don't have savings, if you don't have a plan, it could be pretty tough. So again, we were talking about that and I wanted to be very honest, upfront, and my intention is not to discourage you. To the contrary, I want to encourage you to be smart about it and to make sure that you set yourself up for success. Because if you start suffering financially and if you start getting, anxious and nervous about how you're going to, pay your bills, then, it's going to be very difficult for you to focus on what you have to do, which is taking care of your clients, doing a great job with the transaction and bringing more business, right? Your mind is going to be not just in your task, but it's also going to be, on how I'm going to do in order to pay my bills. So please be smart about it and have savings. How much? Only you can decide. Why? Because you will have to be able to cover whatever expenses you have, right? Thank you, David. Hi. So yeah, you will have to make sure you cover your finances for, personally, I will say at least 3 months. At least. Ideally, if you can, 6. Now, is that the perfect number? Is something that you are like, oh, but I'm sure that I can make it in 2 months. Great. My recommendation is at least 3. Why? Because again, we're talking about peace of mind. We're talking about being smart about it. And we're talking about having the freedom, again, in your mind, in your soul, to have, that peace of mind to be like, okay, I can dedicate my energy to assist my clients, to do the TC work, and to find more clients. So one of the steps that you need to take in order to be able to quit your job is to be financially fit. Now, how you're going to accomplish that obviously depends on your own situation. Maybe you already have savings. Maybe you need to start saving today, and that's perfectly fine. Just make a plan. Make a plan. That's the key. Now, That's not the only thing that I believe that you have to do or take in consideration when you are trying to quit your job to freelance or to be a business owner or whatever is your idea, right? Um, on top of being financially fit, I believe that you need to work in a very detailed plan to transition from where you are right now to where you want to be. So let's say you are an employee. Let's say you are already a TC that work in-house and you want to launch your independent TC business. That's great. So you would have to create a plan again from where you are to where you want to be. Now, that might look certain way, but for example, if you are someone that doesn't have any experience as a TC, then your plan might look a little bit different and might take maybe a little bit longer for you to get to where you want to be, especially if you don't have any experience or knowledge about it, about being a TC. You will have to take in consideration that you will have to learn this business first. Okay, you will have to become an expert to be able to serve your clients and do a good job, right? Now, in some other cases, at least in my experience, a lot of real estate agents are transitioning from being in sales to being kind of behind the scenes and dealing with contracts and with the coordination. In that case, you might have a good idea about what needs to be done during the transaction. So your plan might look a little bit different. And I'm talking about what you need to do in order to get familiar with this type of business, with this particular niche, the TC, right? Now, it's not the only thing that you should include in your plan, okay? Because no matter if you are a TC already, no matter if you're a real estate agent trying to do a little bit of a career change, or if you're someone that doesn't have any type of experience as a TC, okay, you will have to create a plan that fits your needs. I mean, it sounds a little bit obvious, but you will have to spend time and effort understanding what you need in place in order to transition from whatever point A you are today to whatever point B you want to be tomorrow. Now, that might look like, again, learning the tasks, implementing systems, and putting a marketing plan together. How are you going to get clients? That is super important. You need to understand a couple of things because everyone is different, right? And some people enjoy cold calling. I'm not one of them, but some people are great at cold calling. Maybe you were an agent, a real estate agent that decides to transition to do TC work, and you are so used to cold call, and might not be bothering you to take that type of approach. Maybe you are a real estate agent and you already know a lot of agents that you might network with and ask them to trust you with their business. If you are not in the circle and you don't have a lot of real estate agents that you can reach out to, you will have to find a way to get in front of them and find a way to offer your services, right? So whatever it is, whatever your starting point is, you will have to create a detailed plan in order to get your clients, in order to get your finances in order to implement your systems. And every single case might be a little bit different. So you will have to definitely, again, no matter what's your situation, you will have to spend time brainstorming and making sure that you put in that detailed plan every single step you will have to take. Now, another thing is Once that you have a plan in place with the activities or with the things that you have to complete, now I also want you to think about the time frame, okay? And I think that it's important to think about the time frame in two different ways. One way is I think that it's very beneficial when you set a goal and you make it specific and you make it timely. You put a due date on your launching date, right? If you're serious about quitting your job because you want to pursue, this type of business, for example, I think that it's super important for you to commit with yourself and set a date. And it doesn't have to be 30 days from today. It could be 6 months from today. Only you know. And the other way that I want you to think about the time frame is not just when you would like to launch your business or quit your job, but also be very realistic on the time that you're going to spend in each of the activities that you set up in your plan. Okay. And I want you to, again, be realistic, because if you're trying to quit your job, you're already committed, maybe 9 to 5 or whatever time you work, with other activities. So it's not that you have the whole day to complete these steps. So be realistic. Give yourself some, room, a little bit of cushion in there, because, you're just human, right? Try to be super efficient, be super committed with it, but be realistic. Make sure you can implement the things and make sure that you can, take the time to think about what you're doing. Okay. Don't rush, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. So those are the things that, at least in my opinion, are super important when you are trying to launch your business, or at least thinking about it, and when you are trying to commit and quit your job, commit with your business and quit your job. Now, it is, I don't have to tell you, of course, it is scary. It's a huge responsibility, because if your finances depend on your job, then again, I beg you to be super, super responsible when you create a plan, when you commit to do that, because some of us, when we are in an environment that we don't enjoy, and maybe you are not, having the best time right now at your job, you might be, making decisions based on emotions. And I'm not saying that you have to stay at your job that you don't like forever. It's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to, hopefully, the message that I'm trying to send is, think about it, be smart. Because if that is your source of income, yes, you're going to gain a lot of freedom. You're going to get, something that is yours and you can develop. But at the same time, think about it, be smart, because it can go south really quick if you don't do the right thing. Being a business owner is a lot of responsibility. It's not for everyone. On the other hand, it's super rewarding. I personally love it. I totally recommend it to anyone that is willing to put the work. This is not a magic pill. Being a TC is great, but as I always said, this is not get rich quick type of scheme, not even close. Even though you have a lot of advantages, because you will work from home, you will be, again, you will have some flexibility, still you will have to put the work. And being a business owner has, again, a lot of responsibility, because nobody's going to pay you salary. Nobody's going to bring you business unless that you go out there and you bring business to your own business, if that makes sense. So I hope that this is not, again, coming across as trying to discourage you from being a DC. Actually, to the contrary, I want you to do it if it's, your passion, if it's something that you want to embark on, but do it the smart way. So that's all I have to say. I just wanted to share with you my conversation with this this follower that I have, and I think that it make me think, and I think that it has a lot of value. So I wanted to share with you. Okay. So I know that we have David here. David, do you have any thoughts that you want to share? I would love to hear from you if you have anything. But yeah, guys, I think that that's pretty much it. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm here to answer them. If not, that is pretty much what I have for you. Oh, David has so many. We love to hear them, David. So many, yeah, yeah. I know that is a very, very touchy subject. At least for me, it is because I want to see people succeeding, but I don't want them to have kind of the wrong idea of what this business is. So it is hard work. So okay, perfect. Thank you, David. Thank you. All right, so perfect, guys. That's all I have for you today. And as always, reach out if you need anything. See you next time.